Oh, there is a word, I just inte...
Inte tjänster.
Ja, tjänster, ja.
Nej.
Så, ja, det kan man säga. Ja, you can say tjänster, ja. Tjänster.
We have people very well off living here, and they are depending upon service.
I want to live here, and most people that do. We are a little bit special. We want to do what we want to do.
You do realize I don't live here.
You live on which island?
Ekne. Just across here.
Yeah.
Which is basically the home for the old people, for the people working here during 1600, 1700, 1800.
Yeah.
Because that time the pilots or the states,
Yeah.
which employed the pilots, couldn't afford to have them fully employed, so they were self-sufficient on Ekne, but they used Sandhamn as a pilot harbour.
Yeah.
And the last one moved from Ekne about 1859, and I was the first permanent one to move back, 1999.
Wow.
So why I'm here? Well, getting older, I don't want to travel the whole bloody winter
Yeah.
by boat. So
Yeah.
I've got a small house which I rent. And that's all.
How long have you been? What's your Sandtown story? I mean, how long have you been here? You were what? Have you? How long?
Basically, I was, believe it or not, I was the managing director for a British company in Sweden. It was started by my father, but was sold out 1970.
You were the what director?
Yeah,
The what?
the managing director.
What did the company do?
Well, mainly they represented that thing over there, Kango Electric Hammer,
Okay.
plus a roll plug business you fix into walls, expansion bolts and things like that.
Yeah.
We had the agency, and then the company was bought up by the mother company,
Okay.
which was Burma Oil, which owned a hell of a lot of shares in BP, British Petroleum.
Yeah.
And I was still there after that. My father left. I was there until 1980. And as we were selling a hell of a lot of hammers to rental companies, I started up my own rental company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by pure luck, the fellow we had here, they needed a man. I said, can you bring your stuff, you rent the stuff, to this island
Yeah.
during the summer period?
Mm.
I did. And then 1988, he was married to a local girl out there. But that marriage wasn't very good, so he disappeared. There was a younger man than me. We took over the workshop. And then he disappeared because he was more interested in, well, he was in school that time. And then he left. He was his own, I was my own. And then I rented, well, about this size, but it was not a shape of it, to be honest with you. And then year 2000, me and the owner of the inn, is that the correct word?
That is one of the many correct words. You guys, your English is so good.
The girl who had this, she rented out one about this size to me, but not this shape. It was more or less a wall here, and then we had a small shop here, and a workshop over there.
Yeah.
And she came to us and asked, do we want to buy this? And we said yes.
Yeah.
So we said we buy 50-50.
Yeah.
So the inn, have on the other side of the wall behind you, they have that part,
Yeah.
and I have this part.
And is that Lars?
This is Lars, yes.
Okay.
Mm.
So he's a friend of yours.
Well, I've been eating there since 1983, every bloody day more or less. Well, in the beginning it was just the summer season,
Okay.
but then this took more and more time, and mechanics had always, since I was a kid, being my hobby. And now it's more or less my profession. Because I got fed up with bloody paperwork and bloody reports sent to England.
Yeah.
Mind you, we had so much correspondence, we employed girls from England in my first job as secretaries.
Yeah.
I mean, all of this correspondence, 90% of the correspondence was in English. So instead of trying to find a word ourselves, we explained to the girl in Swinglish what we wanted to say, and she put it in the proper English. Easy. And some of the girls, we had about 4 of them, because they had 1-year contract,
Yeah.
then we paid the fare. ended up in the by the switchboard because they learned Swedish during the time. And the first one we had, no, not the first one of them, her mother was Swedish. So in fact, during a lunch hour, two of us sitting just across each other. So we carry on the conversation in Swedish. And she had a Swedish dialect.
Yeah.
She came from Dalarna.
Yeah.
Well, she's not as dangerous as it sounds.
What's her name?
Smilla.
Smilla.
I only had her for 2 years.
Okay.
Because a friend of mine phoned me and said, "Do you want to have this dog?"
Yeah.
I said, "Are you drunk or what?" And he said, "No, she can't hunt any longer. She can't collect birds anymore."
Yeah.
Because she got something wrong with the hips. And one morning, there was a dog, there was food,
Yeah.
and a bed for the dog.
Mhm.
And that was the beginning of the story. She's been here. She's been living here for 2 years now. She's 10 years old. Smilla.
If people see that there's a way of solving environmental issues without really having to be totally different people or change their lifestyles, then we have some interesting possibilities. But designing those, creating those, making people realise that that's possible, that is hard, because at the moment people don't want to do that. They're not ready for that.
Do you think that? I mean, what do you think is going to happen in the future? Do you think that the archipelago kind of lifestyle is going to survive? Because what I've heard is that a lot of money goes into Vaxholmsbolaget, a lot of money goes into government supporting the skärgården in different ways.
Yeah, but if you look at this island, if you take it as a separate issue, if you look at this one, who's going to be behind us, after us? If you look at the families out here, and you take their kids,
Yeah.
how many of the kids will stay there? In my generation, the kids after me, my kids are in town. I wasn't born of them, but people who originally are born out in the archipelago.
Yeah.
Now, to my knowledge, there are the one was having the shop, grocery shop,
Yeah.
2 more, the maximum 5 people.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do? Well, one is a builder, one is having a shop,
Mm-hmm.
one is working at the police department or the call center.
Yeah.
And there must be 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
As the new kids, there's no school. Then people say, well, move them out here. First of all, what are you going to do? Everybody can't work with a computer. Everybody can't be a builder. Number 2, if you're just leaving school and leaving your education, when are you going to buy your own place? You can't. I mean, you can if you have parents which are multimillionaire. I mean, a place out here,
Yeah.
you're talking about minimum 3 million
Mm-hmm.
and upwards. So, even if they want to, and even if they got to work, they can't stay with their parents.
Yeah.
They need some place of their own.
Yeah.
But there is no place of their own, which they can afford.
Yeah.
That's what I think is the problem. Number 2 is, well, there are many problems, but the next one, the original working people out there, they used to fish. There's one man out here who's fishing now. but he's not doing that 100% because he used to work. He's going to leave now during the summer at the pilot station. So 50% of his income come there from there, and so he's got. There's an island called Kroksjö over here. He's the main owner of that particular island. So he can afford. As you see, he's not depending upon the fish. So he can afford to fish. But that's the only one. Last year and the year before that, and since 10, 15 years back in time, we normally had a fishing boat coming here every Saturday, Wednesday and Saturday, and sell, well, fish, fresh fish. But he's given up that. I had a word with him, well, when I came back home last Thursday, and he said, I ain't gonna do it anymore. Because it doesn't pay off. It pays off better to be a builder. I mean, builders out here, they're worth a fortune. But in order for them to build, I mean, we have people very well off living here. So and they are depending upon service. So there is no shortage of job at present time. Maybe for the next 10 years, but after that, one never knows.
Do you think there's any way? What would be the way to get new people to come to the island, or if you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, the main thing I believe, I think it's Pia's project of rental houses.
That's Pia's project.
Yeah,
Or
she
it's Hemanet's
she
project.
came up with it.
But it's not Hemanet's project.
Huh?
Is it not Hemanet that's doing that?
No, yes, they're pushing for it, and they own the land.
Yeah.
But I think Pia came up with the idea.
Okay.
And
Why? Why is rental better than owning?
because you can't afford it, then it's the market is pushing for the prices.
How much would it cost to rent? I mean, what's the idea of the
Self cost. Let's say 90 square meters, 6,500 crowns
a month?
a month. Yes.
Okay.
Plus heating.
Yeah.
Let's say 7,000 a month.
Okay.
That's okay.
That's still quite expensive
No.
for an island.
Yeah. Well.
No.
No, it's not expensive. If you not own it yourself,
Yeah.
but if you are to own it yourself, then you have to pay mortgage and what you can call it. Rent.
Yeah.
No, that I think Pia is very very good at that. She has an idea, and I think if she's met a lot of resistance with politicians, but I think it's the only way to get like families and kids and those kind of people
Why-
out here on the island.
Why are the politicians resistant?
Because some politicians want to make it their own. That it's not as it's nice. They want to have it expensive. They want to
Keep it private.
Yeah, keep private. Keep it expensive.
Which
Keep-
politicians are they? Who are they?
On the right wing.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but
Is Hemanet good? Is Hemanet helping to do things, or is Hemanet just like rich people?
I don't really know those people very good. But as I see it, for some years ago, or recent years, they're not looking for profit. But nowadays, as new owners come in,
Yeah.
they're looking for profit,
Yeah. Okay.
and that's not good. Why not keep it alive?
What are the big ecological problems around? I mean, what are the problems that you think are the serious ecological problems for the Skärgården generally, and maybe also for Sandhamn?
The main. You want one or want
Whatever
top three?
you feel is the
I
really
think
important ones.
If you look at the birds, it's not many islands left for the birds to breed, or what you say, lay eggs.
Breed, yeah.
That's very important for the birds.
Mm-hmm.
And the fishes are there's not much fish left in the archipelago.
Why is that? Is that overfishing or pollution?
I think overfishing and pollution.
Yeah.
The last thing I heard was what's the female hormone?
Estrogen.
Yeah, yes. They're leaking out in the sewers, in the toilets, and out in the sea, and make so the fishes can't reproduce. And that's and the boats, of course. It's much too much boats. Say to myself, I have 3 boats. I drive 1 boat 4 days per year. It's
So you mean too many boats in the harbour, or too many boats on the water?
too many boats. How do you want to see it? Either way, it's too many boats.
Okay.
Then we're not. Some families have 3 boats: 1 for fishing, 1 for transport, and 1 for sunbathing.
Yeah.
You don't use them. You maybe you have use 1 boat, 1 open little fishing boat with 10 horsepowers.
Do you think that people are do they understand how to use their boat? I mean, last summer I was swimming on. What I mean by that is this: last summer I was swimming out on Grinda. I was swimming on the back, and the people were driving the boat really fast through a small channel, which meant there was a big wake coming up on the shore. And if it's a very ecological area, maybe you shouldn't do that. And people just like driving, making noise and throwing things. I think people are they sensitive with their boats, or are they just like crazy?
No. Some young people don't care.
Yeah.
You don't seem and don't care and don't know the environmental causes they affect with that ruthless driving. And
is that changing? Is that different from before, or what?
The boats are getting faster and faster, as I said yesterday.
Yeah. But are people's like attitudes changing? Are they becoming less conscious, less
conscious? Yes.
Okay.
And I think
what are the kind of ecological solutions that you think are worthwhile? I mean, what are the things that you yourself want to see in the Skärgården in Sandhamn? What kinds of ecological stuff do you think needs to happen to improve that?
Oh, have to think a little. But lesser boats means the thing with so many boats as we have today is you have heard about the paint on the bottom in the keel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very toxic.
Yeah.
Enormously toxic. And if you have lesser boats, like a boat pool or even boat rental, instead of having your own 2 or 3 boats, you rent your boat that week a year. That way we don't use as many toxics and chemicals, and I believe that could be a very big change. Because if you in the mainland, they have stations for every chemical, so they're taking care of every chemical, every oil, every filter, no pollutions in the way, like see down at Björna.
Yeah.
He's when he washes his boats up on the shore, the ground is blue. If he had last year he had a blue paint, the ground there down at his shop was blue.
Yeah.
And last year it was red, because the recent year he had the red bottom paint. But if we are to rent the boats, or if we don't use the boat, don't have a boat, then will be no pollution at all. And I think that would be a big change in the environmental. Not to have boats if you don't use them.
Do you think people will get behind it as like a real project, or will they say, okay, that's an interesting thing, and then we're going to kind of carry on?
If there's seeing a profit in it, a personal profit in it, not maybe like money, but if there seems to be for everyone to be something profitable, not just environmentally, but like services and things that could be doable. I think yes. No, the thing I told you before, I was when we started our company, we said to the IRS or the company that we would like to have boat rental. I have not figured out the idea to rent rent boats, but in some way I believe that there is money to be earned, but I don't know how. So when you told me this idea, I thought about it very much, but I don't know how. And as Björn said, and I told you before, I really, really believe in it. It just, the people are ready if it makes it easier and they don't have to change their life.
Yeah.
So I'm not bought in it. I'm just, no. I believe in it.
Why do you think it doesn't happen already? Why is this? If it's a good idea, why is it not happening already?
Oh, I don't know. I think that I think the idea is born in a lot of places, and many people have, but no one done it yet. Björn has rental every year. He has boats for rent, but not that many, and he doesn't speak so much about his renting, so he doesn't earn that much money.
Yeah.
And people here have money, and so they don't want to come out here, and if they want to go out with their boat, they want to go out now. They don't want to make an appointment with some rental guy and then look if there is some boat for rent. And there are some things there some have to be thought about.
Which people? Well, how do you mean people coming out here don't want to wait or?
They want it easy. They want their boat ready at their, what is it, brygga?
Pier.
Pier, yes?
Yeah.
With just the ignition key, turn the ignition key and out.
Yeah.
So if you are to have this rental, as I thought of it, it has to be easy.
Yeah.
Just phone, get the ignition key and out. Full tank, get out.
Yeah. But that's possible.
Of course it's possible. You just have to
work it out.
you have to know which kind of, we have 3 boats now.
Yeah.
And you have to have like 1-2 summers, maybe check out which boat is the one that is always for rental.
Yeah.
Maybe buy 5-6 of those boats,
Yeah.
and always have them ready in
Yeah.
that kind of size.
Yeah.
Because I think on this island you have one size. In Grinda maybe you have the same company. Maybe you have smaller size or bigger size.
Yeah.
So you have to know what kind of size and what kind of sort of boat there is. They want to
So kind of
rent
some
here.
market research.
yeah,
sort of
most
thing.
of it. I think.
Would you be if this thing existed, would you be interested in working with it in some way? Because maybe,
Yes.
let's say for example, I mean you probably do this already, but let's say that this service centre was created, this lifestyle centre was created, and there's like one of the services was like house repair. Maybe your company would be the people who do all the house repair. So somebody calls the service centre saying, look, I need this, and you come and do that. Would that work for you?
With the boats.
No, with like separate from the boats, but for like just house repair. Would it work if this service centre offered that service, and then they hired you to be the man who did that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. And would you be interested in working with it in other ways, like boats and all the other things?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yes, I like to work with a lot of things, not with one thing in particular.
Okay. But is the idea clear?
Yeah, it starts to get clearer and clearer when you mentioned the boat and the cars and the washing machines.
Yeah.
And as I said, no one would even bother if it wasn't something profitable for themselves and make it easier for themselves.
Yeah.
And you really have to sell it for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No one from the hotel is from the island.
Okay. So it's a different story. It's a different story.
Now, I think also you ought to be very. You have to think about who to invite to that group, and the chemistry of the group, very important.
Why do you say that?
If you're looking for a result, you have to think about who you invite, because if if they're not objective and they're talking for themselves and then you won't get any result.
If I can ask you,
If I can sit down and just for myself and read this paper and make my own kind of idea in my head, what's doable and what I think is ridiculous and everything, I think next time I will come up with some great ideas and.
Okay.
Han har ju alltså mycket folk med sig.
Ja, han kan inte hinna stå och spika.
Nej, så det är Tommy och Christer. Alltså,
det är de två,
grabben. Och sen är det Hans-Inge.
Alltså Hans-Inge med också.
Ja. Och sen
Good with it.
Like, what do you mean?
The winter is very cold, it's very boring, but you're always looking forward for the spring, and the springtime is amazing with all the flowers and everything. And then comes the summer with all the people.
Yeah.
When you're tired of the summer, there's the fall, when everyone is slowing down, and you're starting new projects, new buildings, new renovations. So every time of the year is very different, and I like it very much. Exactly, always updated. If you want someone who's always exactly updated with the last, it's his wife. She's working as at the common office, kommunalkontoret.
Okay. Here on Sunday.
No, in
Finland.
the main village in Gustavsberg.
Okay.
Och nämnde någon då?
Ja.
Vårdröst?
Ja, de kör. De
Finns butik på...
de kan komma och handla där.
Du kan ju svenska.
Jag kan lite.
Vi kan inte, men
vi
kan engelska mycket bättre.
Det finns butik på Moja.
Ja, just det.
Också.
Nej, jag är ju
Okay.
Mostly his season is the summer. The thing is, I live the little island there called Telegrafholmen, and the island there, Lökholmen.
They're owned by the club.
Yeah, and they are thinking about building there and to have these 3 islands as one.
Mm.
And regular
Ja, men det
small
är
boat
det
traffic.
jag nästan.
That's
Ja, men det blir
the
man ju
sundown
vacker.
plan or sundown.
Who's pushing that one? Is that?
I think
Fan, nu kör vi utanför.
KSSS, the Royal Swedish Sailing Club, or what you say. But I think they're gonna meet some problem
Men det är skillnad upp han träffar
by
en tjej då.
exploiting new islands.
Ja, det var
Not
helt
just the
annan. Det är
built.
hans största.
No, Thailand, those living islands
Men
don't want
är det förhållandet okej?
that kind of exploitation.
Yeah.
I think they want more, some older, not just fashion exploitation.
Men det var ju deras.
What you mean by what kind of thing?
Those fashion. I've heard some rumors about a tunnel under the water to walk, and I don't believe that's gonna happen. But those kind of things, and I believe they're gonna meet very much problem.
What do you think of the guest harbour? What do you think of the yacht club? I mean, is that a thing, or
Snacka med han där.
around the world, or how's that like?
I can have an opinion about it. As it is now, it's as big or as small it should be.
Yeah.
And I nothing to do about it. And I think it's working okay.
So, but like, is the KSSS? Is it like part of the community or part of the town, or is,
No,
is this its own private thing?
No, it's a private thing. Very
Men det
old.
var någon sån...
And they've been here for a very long time, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Have you seen the new beautiful director yet? No.
the director.
There's a new boss. There's a new boss. At the
Aha,
club.
no,
Very
no.
beautiful. I'm going to have an interview.
Famous from the start.
Okay.
Yes. Everyone who's interested in sailing, everyone has heard about sailing.
Yeah.
Everyone has been here,
Yeah.
and that's the East Coast main
Alla får inte sålt heller. Men de gick ju upp.
island for sailors.
Okay. Is it changing? Are there more boats, less boats, bigger boats, smaller boats? What's the?
I don't know. I've been here for 8 years. So those
But in that time, you haven't seen the boats change, like bigger people from Russia
no.
coming in with huge
The
boats.
only thing I can say it's the small boats is getting faster, more horsepower.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do people know what they're doing? I mean, are they able to kind of like go at the right speed and manage the boat?
Yeah, I believe. But there has been in years there has been some problems with the people drinking, and as the boats getting faster,
Yeah.
it's harder to maneuver.
Yeah.
But they're.
Men det är inte som där nere han bjöd
I
hem
think
andra.
it's gonna be a new law this summer,
Yeah.
not to maneuver boats when you have an alcohol in the blood.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna be good.
Do the people who come to kind of use the yacht club, people who are members of the yacht club, are they nice? Are they rich? Are they? I mean, what's the deal there? Because it seems like they're super rich people. Be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to be
I
honest.
think it's like this. Every kind of people comes to here.
Okay. To the yacht club.
But yes, but to melt in, you have to be rich or you have to look like you're rich.
Okay.
So if you are to come here, either you are rich or you buy one outfit that says you're rich. That's the thing I believe. So I think it's very common people come here. I think it's different for every island.
Okay.
I believe, yeah. Every island has its traditions and ways to do so.
So this 15th century building, how different is that from the building they build now?
It's not the same kind. Like in the 15th century, they took what they had.
Yeah.
They don't have timber. They don't have saws or everything like we have today. We have always everything we do is electrical tools.
Yeah.
So we build as good houses as they do in the mainland or Smålandshus.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have some kind of a plan to follow
Okay.
So the houses can't stand out from the others
Yeah.
as much as some might want.
Yeah.
The houses are pretty much the neighbor,
Okay.
so they have a planning
Yeah.
for how the houses are going to look in the archipelago. Environmental
Yeah.
questions and issues,
Yeah.
where recycling,
Yeah.
very
Ja, men nu
very much of the questions come up is about environmental. I mean, the sea is almost dead. We have to save it somehow.
Yeah.
Some of the future exhibitions about
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
I don't know.
I haven't really. Sorry, I haven't even been in the barrack or even seen the plan. I've only heard about it.
Who are the people who run that? I mean, you said it before, but I can't remember. What is it? Who is it that's responsible for that whole thing?
For the
För the utställning.
Utställning and
I don't know. Vem är det som har hand om utställningen? Den här baracken?
Ja.
Snor någonting. Det är hemma.
Sandhamnsframtiden.
Någon mörk lapp.
Okej.
Han ligger.
Ja.
Till och med rörläggaren. Han som var lite vresig där och vad hette han? Tjocka lite gubben. Han har varit död länge. Han har varit död länge. De kör sånt där typ kooperativ. Jo, det gör de.
Var inte det där bränslet kostat 13 spänn liten i somras eller vad var det för något?
Ja, men förstå mig. Det står handpumpar och allting. Ja, man kan nog vara rätt glad om man kommer dit och har du soppatorsk och det finns en sån. Då spelar det ingen roll. Ta i gas så kan du inte bry sig om det tycker jag är helt okej. Om man håller en bensinmack långt ut i ytterskärgården
We Aborigines, we go to the Värtshus. Yeah. But it's closed now because they're renovating the kitchen.
Okay. And this bar here, the one in the middle, a trendy restaurant.
Yeah, dykarbaren, the divers lunch. Yeah. But it's open only at the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that for Aborigines or just kind of travel?
Yeah, to travel people.
have kind of what you say royal protection, or he's the one of the members.
Is it for rich people?
Used to be, I think, more, as to say. I guess there's a lot of rich people in it right now, but there's also a lot of like normal people, like myself, I would say, that like sailing and get interested in this.
So you're not from like a rich sailing family that?
No, I'm not.
Okay, see. So that's interesting. And how many new people are coming in? I mean, like, is it every year you see new boats, people want to join the club, people from outside Sweden? What is that?
I think we have right now. I think we have about 6,500 members in the Royal Swedish Yacht Club, and I guess this always it's increasing. It's more and more people. So like they are reserved for the members.
Okay, but so it's going up, would you say?
Yeah, I would say it's going up.
Fast or a little bit?
Slowly,
okay,
I would say.
And who are the main new people coming in? What is that?
I would say there's a lot of junior members starting to sail the Optimist and getting better and better to sail, and they do their training in Saltsjöbaden, where our main office is, and the training place. So I would say they are the biggest group of people that join. But then there's also normal people that just got keen going out sailing, and they thought to join the Royal Swedish Yacht Club would be nice. So yeah, like that. And so there's a lot. I would say there's a lot of rich people in here already, but they've been for generations, and it's something that you just do. You just join it. You join from when you were a kid, and then you've always been a member.
The new ones aren't rich?
Some of them I would say, yeah, but not mainly rich people.
How many people there are on the island who have summer houses here?
That depends on the summer and winter. I guess in the winter it's not that many, and I think it's decreasing as well, because this year the school was closed for a while at least, because there were less than 5 pupils. So yeah, they closed it down, so the kids are going to another island to go to school this year. So, but in the summer I guess there's maybe a couple of thousand at least living here during the summer vacation.
On the island is going up or down, or?
It's really hard to answer that with knowing it, but I guess in the summer it's getting more and more. There's some houses building and renovating houses, so there's an interest to live out here in the summer, but the people that are living here permanently, I would say it's decreasing, but can't say for sure.
So it's decreases, it's not like there's more people coming in who want to kind of live here all the time?
No, I wouldn't say so, but I'm not sure. I think the normal family sailor thinks it's only big motorboats, motor yachts here in Sundown who comes here, and they pay a lot of money and they get a good spot, and it's commonly a feeling like that, and it's a lot of party in the nightclub here next to us. And during the summer there's a lot of party there during Friday and Saturday nights. So there's a lot of rich people coming out here just for the night partying, and then leaving maybe even in the night or in the morning. So
is that a new thing?
Yeah, it's a lot of rich kids coming out to party here.
As a new thing, yeah.
Yeah, in the last maybe 10 years it's going up really quick, those kind of things. But so it's not the family sailors who were the most people around here, or the dominant people around here before that, I think, and the sail racers, the guys who came here for the races, they come back for vacation as well. That's my feeling, but I'm not 100% sure about this, but I would say it. The Royal Swedish Yacht Club got to buy the island from him because of the exploration out here. He liked to be alone, and so he sold it when there was too many people around.
He owned it, or no?
He owned the island across the strait.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So now you own that island.
Yes.
What
And that one, and the other one over there. Those two islands are Royal Swedish Yacht Clubs.
How big are they, and what do you do there?
On one of the islands there's nothing really. It's a place where they clean all the, in Swedish you call reningsverk. I think it's the right time to do it, to expand a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of people want to buy property out there and houses or rent houses and be out there in the summer, so why not?
You'll be destroying and that'll be a very beautiful
Yeah, I guess, but those islands that you want to build on, they're not used by anyone. It's not like there's places where all sailors and boat people go just make birth to that island. It's just, no one uses it, so why not build on it and expand a little bit? Because you can see the shops is closed a lot in the winter, and they need to get more money out there to keep it running. I mean, the school is shutting down. It's going to die if you don't do something.
Who's the marginal houses from though?
All kinds of people, I guess, but I mean, you need to have a bit of money to buy them because they're not cheap. Peja.
Peja.
Yeah.
What's his surname?
I can't remember actually what his name is, but I know when I see him, I know him.
What would he say? What do you imagine his opinion would be on how the archipelago and how Sandhamn is changing?
I think he would have a different view than I have. He would probably think it's getting more like people think it is, that it's rich people moving out here, and all the locals that have been here for generations, they are driven away because they can't afford, because all the values of the houses are going up. I mean, there's not many jobs, and well, not the kind of jobs I guess the people living there wants to work. They don't want to work at the hotel or some place like that, I guess. And it's too small. There had to be more people. There had to be a lot of people moving in to get like something going. It can't be just one or two going there. It's not going to change anything. So they have to expand a bit, I think, to get people living there, to get something going out there. It's quite hard to go into work in Stockholm here every day, going back and forth, and then there's some people probably going, staying the weekends out at Sandhamn, and the weeks they have some place here in town.
Yeah. Do you think that, as they get something going, do you think that the whole lifestyle should change? Do you think that it should be much more kind of, I mean, what would you see as being the ideal lifestyle out on the islands? How would you see it working?
I would like to live where like it should be on the whole. What do you mean? Just for my personal?
What do you mean like to get something going? What do you mean like get something going? What do you mean like happening in
I can't really see it because I don't think it's gonna happen really. But to be honest, I don't think it's gonna happen. But you have to get. Like, you wouldn't want to live alone out there. Like, you want to be a few people at least. If you would want to live out there. Not be moving out there with, if you're young, with kids, you won't want to be alone. Like, the kid's going to be alone all the time, and they have to be friends. And even for adults, they have to live friends around in the same age and with the same interest. And not on the yearly basis, like getting more people living there all year round. There's going to be more people living there in the summer, but maybe a few will increase a little bit. Maybe some of them will live there, but a bigger part of the year going out there every weekend during winter time as well, maybe, but not too many. But in the summer, yeah, it will increase a lot. In the summer, there's going to be all those houses going to be full as well, so it's going to be even more crowded in the summer.
Yeah.
But then they will have to build a new store, grocery store, and expand more restaurants, and all those kind of things. So that would be good.
Do you think if life was cheaper out there,
No, that's not the case. Even if the houses were cheap, it's still a long way to go to work in town, because probably most of the people will still work in town, and it's a long way to go. No, not really. Not for the kind of jobs that is needed. But I mean, this is what I think. I don't know this. Maybe people. Yeah, there's.
How much do people talk about ecological or environmental issues? Do people talk about that at all? Is that interesting or important or not relevant?
Didn't used to do it really, but more and more it's with the climate threat and stuff. Then people think more about that, I guess. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We got to change lifestyle, or in some 100 years there won't be a place like this. Think more about the environment, nature. Yeah, for a lot of people it's pleasure with the boat, and they don't really think about that kind of things when they are on vacation, just out sailing or with a motorboat, especially those big motorboats, motor yachts with big engines and uses a lot of fuel. But yeah, maybe people think about it, but not that much, because it's their vacation. They don't want to worry on their vacation about stuff like that. But I've seen it change, I guess. People with big motorboats, they don't go around as much as they used to before. They stay longer in the harbor. Before, like a couple of years ago, they went in the harbor, because going into a nature harbor anywhere in the archipelago, it's free. Staying in Sandhamn costs money. So I guess people were going around, and then they went to Sandhamn, had a nice meal at the restaurant, filled up water and get some groceries and stuff, and then they went up in the archipelago again. But now they're staying longer times in the harbor, because it's cheaper to stay in the harbor than go around and use a lot of petrol with the motorboats.
Meaning, what does that mean? The petrol has become more expensive?
Yeah, because it's getting more expensive. They run less with the boats. They lie still with it in the harbor instead.
Do you know why that is? Is it a special price increase?
I think it's mostly because of the price increase. That's what I've seen, the big change from a couple of years ago. Like, say 5-10 years ago, they were in and out in the harbor a lot more than nowadays. Nowadays they stay like 3 or 4 days. They can stay on the same place in the harbor. It's not growing. Just staying there, going to the beach every day, and just uses it as their own house on Sandhamn. Instead of having a house, they have a boat they live in. So, mobile home. having their laundry is quite big. Their laundry service they're running their own, cleaning all the stuff for the hotel a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, them taking in other cleaning from the island to run it together would be less. Oh, it's better for the environment, and it's probably cheaper when it's getting more and more people using it. Because that's the way you think in a company. If you can't just make parts for if you're selling some kind of machine, you can't just make parts just for your machine. You have to make it for other people as well, or similar products for other people, because otherwise it won't work. It won't hold if you don't do it for other people. So the hotel would make money on laundry service, but I guess they have to extend it a bit. Then they could make money of it to finance their washing service.
Okay. So here's an honest question. Do you think I should push this as a kind of experimental design project, or should we push it as something that we actually want to see happen? Because there's a slightly different energy about it, a slightly different approach. And one is like, it's a bit more sort of asking, and the other is a bit more pushy, basically.
Yeah. I guess you have to check a bit more with so get more people behind it. I think like the Eknehamman and the Sandams, Vänner, Intresseförening, stuff like those kind of organizations. You have to have them with you. Big time, kind of like they have to want to do it.
Big time means what? I mean, like
so that they are also interested in it. They want to make it happen. Because without them, you probably won't get it going out there. Because they're quite important. Yeah, I can see it. It's a quite clever way to do it, but I don't think we are ready for that right now, but I think it might be the future. Yeah, I see the good parts in it, but I don't think we're ready for it yet, really.
What would take us to that next stage?
That more people think about the environment and get taking action.
Do you think it would take a tsunami on Sandham for people to think about it, or do you think people will start to think about it with a little less prompting?
Yeah, I guess a little less, but
a little less.
basically that
so.
much. I think.
Do you think it really needs people to be kicked?
Yeah.
To be reminded what's happening to the environment?
And I think they kind of have to be reminded of it in a way that kind of teach them a lesson. It really has to affect them as a person before they start think about it. I guess it's harder the older you get and the more stuff you've done without thinking that way.
Yeah.
It's easier for me because I'm younger and I'm more used to that kind of behavior when you rent stuff and you don't own it. I think I'm more used and I'm grown up in this generation.
What word would you use to describe it? It's like when you say renting, hiring, sharing services. Was there one word that is a really positive association in your mind?
That you would use for this kind of service? It's kind of a mixture, but it's still like you're on a plan. That you're like on a you have this account and you can use the services, different services, and it's you have an account where you pay one sum of money and you can use stuff from that and it takes away from that money, or I guess you have one this many different services, this many points, and you can use them, and this thing costs that much points and for that long, for that period of time, and you share it with other, some way, something like that.
So and what would you call that, a service account or a membership scheme or something?
Something with service, because it's a service for me. So yeah, but it still is an account or membership. Yeah, it's hard to find one word for it. Lifestyle services, maybe. Yeah, maybe lifestyle services.
Are you actually interested in this kind of stuff, or is this like?
I mean, I don't think about it all the time, but it is a good way of solving. I don't know if it really solves it, but I mean, it's a good way to go. It's the right direction.
See, the option is.
I just feel like it might work on Sandhamn, because it's the kind of place where people spend time and don't want to worry about stuff, and they don't want to have to make big arrangements to get things done. They want to easily just get stuff sorted out fast, quickly, just get it done and cheap. Maybe even a service that do the stuff for them, like bring the tools and do it for them, and like a laundry service where they can pay not too much, but it can cost a bit, but not too much, and they will leave their clothes there and pick them up the day after. They kind of go hand in hand, because the people, this thing can only be open for the season from like May to September or something. It won't work on winter, but on the summer it will work, because there's a lot of people going there and staying a very long time. They have long vacation, or people that own the house, they stay there for a while themselves, and then they rent it out to some other family for the next week. So there's always a lot of people on the. Yeah, about that. May, September, I would say it will work, and during that time they. Yeah, it could work, yeah. There's a lot of people that don't want things to worry. They want to have vacation on the beach and go out with a boat to another island or something. They don't want to wash their clothes, and that's not the stuff you're on Sandhamn to do. You can do that at home. So, yeah, I think... I'm not really sure. Yeah. Because their normal life is out there. They don't have vacation when they're there. It's just an ordinary day. Every day out there is an ordinary day.
So people
Well, they go on vacation somewhere else.
No, what I mean is why would people in a normal day not want to use a washing service?
I don't know really. I haven't thought about it in that way, but I mean, I feel like I do my own. I do my own at home. When I'm at home, I do my own, but when I'm away, I want to do other things that I can't do when I'm at home. That's my opinion, but because in a daily basis you can't. I don't think I could afford it. I want to spend my money on other stuff than on laundry. I can do that myself. But if it's getting cheaper than almost the same as buying the stuff myself, I guess it's one way to.
See, the idea is that when you're on the right scale, it's cheaper to set up a laundry service than to have your own washing machine and to do your own thing yourself. So it's not just that it's convenient and it's just like no hassle. It's just that it's also cheaper.
I guess a lot of people already have their washing machines in their house, and as taking the washing machine as an example, it's they already have the equipment, so they just might as well do it themselves. And that's also the people living there in the summer. They probably also have the washing machines already, but they'll use the service anyway because it's convenient, and they have more money in most cases.
It's a lifestyle, I think. I want to live here, and most people that do. We are a little bit special. We want to do what we want to do. I have a problem thinking that I should sit in town working 8 to 5. Many people talk about, oh, I want to live like this.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah.
We have problem you have read about the problem that we're talking about, a new wave, a young wave.
Yeah. Or the fact that you mean the problem that there is not a young wave, or that there is new because there seems to be two problems. One is the problem of new housing, which is too expensive.
Yeah.
The other problem is that people are not coming anyway.
No, and one of the problems is that there is no house to live in.
Yeah.
But in some place there are houses, but it still don't come people.
Where do you mean in those places?
In Manoochehri, they have had problems to have people living in the house they have.
Yeah.
But I think that could have been other reasons than just they don't want to live. I don't know. We are talking about it a lot. Yeah, but it's hard to live near a big city too, because we are not seen as a glesbygd. Do you know that word?
No.
It's up in the Norrland. It's a few houses and a long way to town.
Yeah.
And then it's called glesbygd. It's a few people living with a far way to drive to come to a city or to the services.
Yeah.
And it's the same for us.
Yeah.
But we are too near to Stockholm.
Yeah.
So most people and politicians don't think that we are glesbygd.
Okay.
But we are. I always, when people ask me, what do you do? How do you live out here? It's the same as if I had lived in Stockholm, except I had to travel a little bit longer if I'm going to do something. But we have our meetings. We can go to the Manoochehri and meet. But I think we are more social network. I don't know. I call it socialt nätverk, a social network, because we always know what each other do. The old people, they can't fall down and be laying down and no one knows about it, because we know all about our old people. We are living near to the nature, of course, so we see that we have no fish anymore. We can see the garbage, sopstationen. It's a problem, it's a big problem. So of course we knew about the ecological. But always when we talk, you don't need to be here or in the town, anyway, it's money. Is it cheap or is it not? You have to, does it cost me more? Okay, then I take I don't care about the nature.
So that's true. So you think that here in the Skärgården, here on Sandhamn, people don't really care more than in the city?
No, not more than in the city. No, I don't say I'm very interested, but I realized that I had to start to think in another way.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And I think more people are open for that now, because the government talks about it also. You can see it to the weather. It's happened so a lot of things now. There are different groups, just as you say. And that's why we have this föreningarna. As you asked what Intresseföreningen does, and I told you they are taking care of the people who are living here on the island, because there's not always that our interests are the same as our summer guests. So sometimes it's a problem, yes. You can see it because that we can't find a house to buy here for a young family that haven't earned so much money, because it's status. You can buy a house to be here for just a week, and then you can say, I have a house in Sandhamn, and I have a house in France, and I have an apartment in... You understand? And that's a problem for us. The attraction of having a
why is that? Why is it a problem? What's the problem with that?
because it gives us no house, no
It's waste, basically. It's a wasted house.
wasted.
Meaning it's not used. If it's not used, it should be used.
It's empty here in the winter. And if you go around in the village in the winter, you can see the middle of the village.
Yeah.
It's empty, and we are living in the outside.
Yeah.
And under the years, the village has grown. So here it's the beginning, and then the young people who move, they build in the outside. And that generation, when they are old, either the children take over it and lives there in the summer, or if they can't have it because there are more children, they have to part the house.
Yeah.
Then they have to sell it.
Sure.
Okay, then it's next generation that is not living here, and the new people that come that builds here.
Okay.
And when they are get old and or selling it, it's not being sold to the people who live here. It's sold to a person that just are here in the summer.
What would you like to see? I mean, if somehow you had an infinite amount of money, and everyone was happy to work to agree with what you wanted, how would the Skärgården be, and in particular, how would Sandhamn be? So just imagine this perfect world.
I think we should be about 300 persons living here.
Okay, so twice as many as you have. Okay.
That's the smallest, but we haven't. It couldn't be too much either. At most, there was 300 living people here.
Yeah. Okay. And would there be more summer people or less summer people, or
something like it's now?
Okay.
Maybe.
But maybe people would use their houses better.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be so.
And that's the trend also, because the livings you can. Man är mycket rörligare idag. It's easier to move. You can live on different places in different time of the year.
Yeah.
So maybe you are here in the summer, most year, half year, and half year in Stockholm or in France, or
sure.
You have. It's easier to move.
Yeah.
And so you can be apart living here.
Okay. So it would be 300 people, and what jobs would people be doing? Would they be travelling out or working on the island? Or?
Both.
Okay.
You have. I don't think there's enough work for 300.
Okay.
Or of course, you can have a distance work.
Yeah. Is that popular? Are there people doing that? How many people are doing that?
No one.
Okay. I mean on the computer, like?
No. Maybe they are staying a few days more.
Yeah.
So instead of being here in the weekend, they are here a few days more.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And what else would be different? Would there be more boats or less boats? I mean, Vaxholmbolaget,
some more. About maybe, if I had to wish, it could be, say, about 10 boats a day.
Okay. Maybe faster as well, so it would be. Or is that okay?
No, that's not. I prefer to have 10. That boat goes 10 times, or more than it's a fast boat.
Okay, that makes sense. And for the whole Skärgården, I mean, for the main islands in the Skärgården, what do you have a feeling of how it should be? Do you have a feeling of what needs to change to more people living out on Möja?
All islands need some more people living there.
Okay. Does that mean more houses? So if you had 300 people on Sandhamn, where would you put people, basically?
I'm talking, prata varmt för. I like the idea of a renting house.
Yeah.
And you had to live there to rent it.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So the new houses that will be built should be rent house.
Okay.
Like this.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one. So
It's
okay.
the new paper today. It come.
Okay.
They are talking about building hyreshus on sometime.
And this is Hemanet, because that's
Yeah,
the guy.
yeah.
That's the guy who runs Hemanet.
Jag kan inte förklara på engelska.
Vi kan prova lite på svenska. Men du måste prata långsamt. Tack.
Det är en privat förening.
Hemanet?
Ja, ja, de är markägare här. Och de bor inte här, de som äger marken.
Mhm.
Utan det är sommargäster.
Mm.
Det kanske är utav 100 markägare så är det 5 som bor på ön.
Mm.
Och nu, som de säger att de ska ha för hyresboende för permanent boende, då är det okej. Men i nuläget som det ser ut nu så är det ju bara utav deras 7-8 hus så är det bara 2 som är permanentboende.
Mm.
Och då blir det inte rätt i slutändan.
Mm. Mm. Okay.
Så hyresboende tror jag på under förutsättning att det är beordrat att du ska bo för att kunna få hyra.
Mm. Mm. So what you want is from the higher houses that people are basically there all year round. I mean,
Yeah.
so that's your feeling about it. Okay. Do you have an idea for how much they should be here? Is it all year or for half the year or?
More than half the year, 75% at
Okay.
least, I think, because or else it's.
Does Peyo agree with that? Is he happy with that idea?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about that because I think we have different thinking about it.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. I haven't talked about it.
How would it be useful if you imagine that there was a building somewhere on the island that offered either access to products or services? Pia, if you can imagine how that would work, just imagine it. So go back to where we were talking about how everything would be perfect. How would that help? Why would it make a difference?
It make it easy for me to live because I can give someone else my dirty laundry. Okay, thank you. And maybe I could have someone helping me cleaning and taking care of the garden. Okay, yeah, that sounds very attractive for me because then I can do other things. So, but I don't know if the other people think like me in that case. But I liked when you presented it. It was the thinking about why do I have to own? All of us have to own our own wash machine, gräsklippare, and so on. I like that thinking, and I think the people that comes to the island, they are they had the money to pay for that services. So, but probably they have their own washing machine also.
You've seen a draft of the design papers and some little documents proposing the idea. Do you think it could be simpler? Do you think it could be presented better, presented so that everyone sits down and goes, yes, that's very easy for me to understand?
Yeah, it was. I think it was easy to understand, but maybe you can never do it too clear. Always could you do it better, of course. Now, I think that the way you work is good because you are sitting in my home and discussing the question with me, and I understood that that's the thinking, and we're not used to that. Almost the ideas comes from the upside, and then they tell us that this is a good project. Did you have that one, maybe? And that kind of project are we very tired of.
Yeah.
So I don't know the English word for förankra. Make the people on the floor understanding what's happening.
Okay.